Hey everyone. So I decided to, as crazy as it might sound, to go through all 2048 possible tonalities again. I've done it twice before, and it's all listed here in Wayne's book, An Improviser's OS. This is the first edition that's no longer available, but there's now a second version that is available now, and it's, you know, somewhere around 20 bucks. Great philosophical and tactical and various thoughts about composition and improvisation and throughout the book. And he also lists all of the tonalities that exist within the chromatic scale. And I've talked about this in other videos, but it's really pretty incredible when you think about all of the possibilities. And like I mentioned, I've gone through all 2048 twice in all 12 keys and all the positions, and each time I went through it, it took years to get through it. But the first year I dove into it, I was doing 3 formulas a day, and then it became more like 2 formulas a day. And now I think I'm going to do 2. I've done that, although I didn't do it yesterday. I had other stuff going on, but for the most part doing 2 a day. And it's going to take me years, but I find it really useful. You know, sometimes we can feel like we get into a rut. And one of the things that this approach to practicing improvising, which is what this book is all about, although you could use this stuff compositionally too, the focus is on how to develop yourself as an improviser. And so an important part of that is creating limitations. And the way you practice this stuff is enforced improvising, because you can't rely on any licks or hand moves or anything compositional, for the most part anyways. And yeah, like I mentioned in an earlier video, there's really no way to get through, unless this video lasted for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, there's no way to talk about all the ins and outs and possibilities with this, because, well, first of all, it's really pretty infinite, but even still, even if it wasn't infinite, there's still so many things to talk about with this. Anyways, so because I've decided to go through it again for the 3rd time, because I find it fun and I find it useful. Those are 2, to me, pretty good reasons to do it. And, you know, I enjoy thinking about functions and theoretical stuff. And in my early going, that was actually a crutch, way too much, and technique. Like, those 2 things I excelled at, and sight reading. Like, playing fast and precise, and the theoretical stuff, and sight reading, like anything really technical, discipline-oriented, I guess, I really excelled at. And therefore, other areas of my musicianship kind of suffered, and so I had to kind of face that and deal with it. Yeah, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? Anyways, okay, I'm rambling again. Just enjoyed talking about music and sharing my thoughts with everyone that's interested in listening. So one of the things, and actually told Wayne I was going to do this again, and one suggestion he had was to approach it maybe in a different way than I have in the past. And while this isn't totally virgin territory, one of the thoughts that I had that I would like to focus on more when going through this a 3rd time is on solo playing. And because that's one of my goals, is to play solo guitar in a convincing way. And that's that involves quite a lot of things, because it's all on you, right? the time, the groove, the harmonies, the melodies, the form, everything. You don't have anybody to rely on. So I like the idea of meeting that challenge. And so I thought I would just kind of, at the risk of failing miserably, kind of share a little bit of what I'm kind of thinking about there. So let me pick, how about the C half whole scale, which I like to call the symmetrical dominant scale because it works for dominant chords, not diminished chords, although I understand why people call it the diminished scale. But because it gets applied to dominant chords and it has a dominant chord in it, I think of the half whole scale as the symmetrical dominant scale. Anyways, not that it's that important. The most important thing is that music's being made with it. Okay, so in the key of C here at the 6th fret, and I will do it with the metronome sometimes. I guess I'll just talk about this for a second at the risk of this video going really long. I like to practice with the metronome, without the metronome. I like to practice, I have this freeze pedal, so sometimes I'll have a drone so I can really hear the tonality. In fact, maybe I'll do that. I just like to change it up. Like I'll improvise a certain way a couple of times through, and then I'll add the freeze, and then I'll take the freeze out, add the metronome, I'll do the metronome with the freeze, just to keep it interesting and moving and engaging in various ways. Okay, so you probably can't hear that, which is fine. It's not really that important, but I'll just use that, and then I'll rely on my own time, like 3, 4, and. Alright, so, you know, I can hear the issues in that. One of the things that was kind of floating around in my head there was, I was noticing through making these videos that the way I was kind of phrasing, organizing my ideas, was too often that I had a certain way of organizing. So I was trying to kind of keeping that in mind while doing this, and so it was kind of putting me into kind of uncomfortable zones a little bit. And yeah, so let me do another one. How about with the metronome? And normally, you know, I'll kind of split it. I'll do that, and then might record the next one, and then listen back to it, and then do another one, and then I kind of occasionally record myself, not quite as much as I used to. I used to record myself constantly, but I feel like I'm able to kind of tell more and more from that experience what are the issues. But it's still helpful to listen back so you can really critique. I'll make another video about that. That's a big one. So how about here? Seems like a little faster. I don't know, different key maybe. And how about B flat here at the 9th fret? So again, still the whole half scale. Which, by the way, I should have said, that's an 8-note tonality. It would be 1, flat 2, flat 3, 3, flat 5, 5, 6, flat 7. And so as you're accessing the formula, you can either think in terms of note name, whatever the notes are in that particular key, or you can think about it in terms of function. Let me actually just do this real quick. because I always think function. If I know that this is flat 2, which it is in B flat, I also know it's B. I don't know exactly how you get there other than just doing it a bunch, but that's what I prefer. I prefer to think in terms of function, and that's a whole other video too. Like I know that's 6, I instantly know it's G. I know this is E, this is A flat, this is D flat, this is G. So I just prefer to think in terms of function. I'll just say briefly and make another video about it. Function transcends key. Flat 3 will always be, you know, I'm not even going to go there. I'll just say that functions transcend the key, whereas note names don't. Anyway, I'll make another video about that. But that's how I practice it almost always, in terms of how I find stuff. Okay, so B flat, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you know, in terms of solo guitar, you know, I'm not really achieving it here, so this is something I want to work on, is part of it, again, is just kind of not uncomfortable doing it in front of the camera, which I'll get better at that. Like I have this chord kind of, this harmony down here, and then I'll like hold this note, you know, like I'll kind of hold stuff, play a little melody kind of thing, and then I'll play harmony together. Bass stuff. Ooh. Maybe a little out of tune. I think it's the intonation on the guitar. But that's a voicing I've never played before, as far as I know. I'm just accessing it through function in the key. And that's one of the benefits, one of the many benefits you get when practicing this way, is you end up playing stuff that you've never played before. And I thought about making a video about how to get out of ruts if you're feeling in a rut, which I'll do that too, but this is a great way to get out of a rut. It's just to pick a key, pick a tonality, pick a 4-fret zone, and try to make music with it. That'll definitely break you of any ruts. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, this is enforced improvising. And improvising means that you're being creative in the moment. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. Just thought I'd share this next journey with formulas that I'm going on, and hopefully it'll maybe inspire you to do something similar or do the same thing. Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon.